This is a video of Hitachi's MaaS orchestration concept and application examples for CATS operation. CATS and Hitachi are working together to improve passengers' convenience and experience through enhanced communication between CATS and the passengers. The development of enhanced passenger communication tools, multi-channel messaging, and mobile wallet service are currently underway. In the future, CATS will be able to operate the buses with balanced passenger loads by providing appropriate information and incentives to passengers, which will be leveraging data analysis, including historical bus operation data, passenger data, and external data. Hitachi is developing MaaS orchestration concept and its MVP, which helps to solve regional public transport issues in Japan through data analysis. In Japan, transport operators are facing difficult challenges caused by negative spirals. The inconvenience caused by the limited number of bus operations are resulting in the drop of the number of passengers. And the decreasing number of passengers are causing further reduction of bus operations. In addition, there are often cases that multiple transport operators compete with each other in the same area, causing unhealthy split of passenger demand, resulting in inefficient operations in the region. Therefore, Hitachi is developing MaaS orchestration concept to realize sustainable public transport in the region by improving passenger convenience and operation efficiency. MaaS orchestration is expected to cover the following three key functions. 1. Visualization. Visualization of historical operation data on a map providing detailed KPI analysis with different graphs and charts. This will help the operator identify their pain points and also construct countermeasures. 2. Alteration. Simulation of the effect of different countermeasure options, leveraging machine learning based on historical data. 3. Passenger incentives. Simulation of changes in passenger demands, reflecting different recommendations and incentives given to passengers, leveraging machine learning based on historical data. At present, the visualization function has been released as an MVP. The other two functions are going through deep dive discussions with Japanese transport operators to understand customer demands. This video outlines a use case for future bus operators featuring the visualization and the passenger incentives functions. Now, we are going to introduce a future use case of the MaaS orchestration, featuring an employee of a bus operator.
My name is Ralph. I'm in charge of bus operation planning. Recently, I'm receiving sarcastic remarks regarding client complaints around crowded buses from Bill, who oversees customer relations. Unfortunately, some buses may be very crowded this weekend due to a college football game which will be held at the stadium. Mary, who is my boss, asked me to deal with this challenge. However, it is not possible to run extra buses given the limited number of drivers and buses. Therefore, I will investigate other countermeasure options using MaaS orchestration.
This is an example of the visualization function, which visualizes historical bus operation data. By selecting the date and the route of the buses, you will be able to see the details of the specific operation data. One way to forecast the future is to learn from similar situations in the past. Hence, you will choose the data of Route 44 on October 12, 2019, which is the bus route to the stadium on the day of a college football game. Now, let's take a deep dive into the comprehensive analysis of the bus operation based on KPIs. This is the screen of the KPI analysis. The graph on the left shows the total number of passengers at each stop on Route 44 per each hour. You can see that the number of passengers between 9 and 10 o'clock is the highest. The graph on the right represents the load factor of the busiest section of each bus. You can see that the buses running between 9 and 10 o'clock are operating beyond their full capacity. Now, let's check the details of this specific bus operation on the map. This is the visualized historical operation data of the crowded bus specified by the KPI analysis. The circle represents the bus, and the color indicates the level of crowd inside the bus, where red means the bus has gone over its full capacity. Between 9 and 10 o'clock, the bus is most crowded at the station closest to the stadium, and it could be assumed that these passengers are heading to the stadium. Next, let's do a simulation and see whether we can reduce the crowd in this bus. This is the menu screen of the simulation. MaaS orchestration is planned to have 4 simulation elements, which are A. Add transportation modes. B. Increase or reduce service frequency. C. Create or abolish routes. D. Inform or incentivize passengers. These functions will leverage historical data and machine learning to simulate how the number of passengers change when such elements are altered. We will select D to see whether we can reduce the crowd inside the Route 44 bus by passenger incentives. This is the screen of passenger incentives simulation. First, we will enter the conditions for the simulation. Select a date when a college football game was held in the past, and enter other conditions for the simulation. Click Actuals Forecast button, and you will see a ranking chart showing high passenger load buses on that date. You can see that the buses that ran on Route 44 between 9 and 10 o'clock were operating 20% beyond their full passenger capacity. Now, we would like to balance the passenger load during this time period. This time, let's try distributing coupons to potential passengers and see how it influences the passenger load. Fill in the items under Select an Incentive, types of coupon, location, and valid time period. Then press Actuals Forecast button. You can see how this passenger incentives influenced the ranking chart below. The passenger load of the targeted buses has now gone down below 100%. Apparently, some passengers chose to arrive at the stadium earlier to use the coupon. Consequently, the number of passengers on the buses between 8 and 9 o'clock has increased. Next, let's take a closer look at the result of the simulation using the visualization function. Select the After button on the upper right to check the simulation results. The blue bars represent the actual number of passengers on October 12, 2019, and the red bars reflect the result of the simulation. The graph on the left shows that a certain number of passengers who were on the buses between 9 and 10 o'clock has now shifted to buses running between 8 and 9 o'clock, evening out the load. The graph on the right shows that the buses running between 9 and 10 o'clock are now running within their passenger capacity, while there is some increase in the number of passengers on the buses running between 8 and 9 o'clock. From this, you can see the effectiveness of passenger incentives when balancing the passenger loads. Next, let's see the output of this simulation more visually on a map. No bus seems to be exceeding its full passenger capacity. The result of this simulation is showing the effectiveness of passenger incentives when balancing the passenger loads.
Based on the simulation output, I distributed coupons for the day of the college football game. As a result, we were able to avoid overly crowded buses, and every bus operated on schedule. And Bill, who was always sarcastic, was very pleased and said, "We got great feedback from our passengers who enjoyed their coffee using our coupons." Well, I'm glad that everyone is happy after all.
CATS and Hitachi are working together to improve passengers' convenience and experience through enhanced communication between CATS and the passengers. Hitachi has advanced data analytics technologies and depth of knowledge in bus operation that can contribute towards achieving CATS management goals. We believe that CATS and Hitachi together can build a great partnership.